welcome to episode 63 of the Creative Train podcast. This one is called, Are We Having Fun Yet? And this episode is brought to you by the letter F. No, not that F. Get your mind out of the gutter. The F that stands for fun. When was the last time that you had fun in your creative pursuit? Like really giggling fun. You know, the kind that made you feel like a kid again, or at least someone who was discovering something so new and engaging that you just had to laugh out loud. Well, the story I'm about to tell you is one such situation I had with one of my music students this week. As with everything on the podcast, all the stories and tales and whatever you want to call them are based on my own real life experience as an artist and artist educator. All aboard. I mentioned a fellow earlier in an episode called Transformation and the Process, in which I recounted one of the most emotionally and creatively polarizing hours of my life as a music teacher. Check that out for some backstory if you want. So this student had been progressing at what I might call a very significant rate. Week to week, he comes to me with new and genuine questions about not only how-to stuff, but also regarding musicianship as well. Our 30-minute weekly sessions are packed with rapid-fire questions and answers, inspirational ideas and anecdotes, which have seen him progress from an eager beginner to a very confident player and singer. When someone actually thinks about what they're practicing and considers the possibility of where it might lead from their own questions, they will generally ask what I call the, quote, right questions. And this guy's question du jour was, how do you do those wah things you do when we're talking about improvising? Little riffs that I do. And knowing that he's a very comfortable singer, I asked him to sing a simple melody while I played a groove on a chord for him. So I channeled my inner B.B. King and began playing a simple chord with a slow and funky rhythm. Immediately, he sprang to life with, "My baby, since you've been gone." And I played his melody right back to him on the guitar. His eyes widened and he said, "That, right there, that, how did you know how to do that?" And after a brief review of a scale study we did a few weeks prior, I showed him and proved to him that the music is alive and well in his mind. These musical facts, these obtuse things. We just have to figure out how to use the key that will unlock this particular door. Yeah, keys and doors are great metaphors for all the things we face as creatives, the things we see and hear that inspire us. But how do we come to the point of taking an idea out of our heads and reproducing it, either faithfully or with a touch of our own soul in it? It's a big question. Well, it all starts with learning the very basics and a bit of how others have used these same basic facts to their own ends. And I explained it to him like this. I said, all the music you've ever heard and listened to and engaged with has found a place in your mind and heart, and you remember it with great reverence and joy every time you hear it and sing it. And now, tonight, we're going to learn how to recreate it. It's undeniable that we plebs struggling through the mire of self-doubt and self-expression and creativity are using the very same notes that Bach, Mozart, Miles Davis, and Garth Brooks, and whomever else you enjoy listening to, they also used those same notes. The difference is our understanding of how these things fit together and the direction we want them to go and the depth of those associations. Yeah, I really do have that little monologue at the ready in my mind when somebody asks this particular right question. And I've seen it hundreds of times over my 30-something years of teaching music. People feel intimidated, unworthy, and somehow incapable of grasping the genius of their musical heroes. And this doesn't just apply to learning music, but every single other thing you want to learn. It's done through learning, studying, repetition, and reinforcement. Music is just the thing I'm most familiar with. And I'm going to go a bit music nerd on you here, so bear with me if you don't get it. But it's not the music theory that matters here. It's the application of a fact into a unique creative process. Now, every person sings, even if they suck. Every person has hummed or whistled random melodies while doing even the most basic or mundane of their daily routines. Every note you hum has a relationship to the former and to the next note that you sing. Even if you don't know scales, it all kind of seems random. But if you do know some scales, even at the most rudimentary level, you can start to understand those relationships and take them to the next level by learning them on your instrument and start to understand them as actual, real, actionable, and changeable musical patterns. This is what I helped this fella come to understand. He sang, I played it back. He sang again, I played it back again. It's not any sort of musical genius at work here. I simply understood what I heard, and using my own filter based on my own learning, repetition, and reinforcement, I played it back to him. Ever heard a song that sounds a lot like another song you know? Yeah, well, you heard a familiar pattern. That's it. So imagine this. Imagine that you've never had pizza, like ever. You're blindfolded and somebody gives you a slice. You have no idea what's going on. You don't know the ingredients or the process. And this is a totally new experience to you, eating this pizza for the first time. And then following that, they take you to a bunch of restaurants. You'll pretty quickly come to understand that if you go from pizza joint A to pizza joint B through Z or Z, that you're eating the same concept called pizza. And eventually you make your way through 20-something variations based on that theme. Then the blindfold comes off, and this person shows you not only what the ingredients are or were, but also shows you how to make a pizza, and then takes you to a kitchen where you can make your own pizza. Just imagine the thrill of it all. What a day. New food, new experience. And now you get to recreate it using only your imagination. Who wouldn't want that? Well, that's what I strive to bring to all of my music students. I want to bring them to the kitchen of their own creativity. The ingredients, the tools, they're all there. Their job or lesson is to reimagine it all into something new. Even if it comes to reproducing something they have already experienced, now they have the tools, the facility, and the skills to set about doing just that thing. No chef in their right mind strives to only reproduce someone else's dishes. But I've met many, many artists, or maybe I should call them a creator at this point. I've met many people who strive to do just that, reproduce. Is it safe? Yeah. Is it easy? Yeah, maybe. Is it fun? Not likely. So in another context, I'll tell you a story about a friend of mine who wanted me to get on board with a stained glass lampshade creator that he knows. He looked at my stuff and he said, wow, you do really well with this, and mentioned someone else that he knows that works with this person who makes $5,000 a month reproducing the same thing over and over. And he assured me, this guy's been doing this for years, doing the same thing over and over. And he sent my contact info to this person who runs the studio without my knowledge, and they contacted me asking if I'd like to come on board as one of their, quote, artists. And I asked what the job would entail. And when they told me I'd be reproducing the same thing over and over, I quickly understood that they wanted a technician. They didn't want an artist. So where does that leave us eager, open, budding creatives? It leaves us in a place to learn. And it doesn't have to be in a private session or private lesson context with a more experienced artist. There's a lot of inspiration to be found online these days. But the drawback to the learner, the student, is not having an immediate question and answer thing going on if they're watching a video tutorial. But look, seek, desire, inquire, light a flame under that complacent artist's arse, and look for new inspiration. Don't look and then try to emulate. Look and then find your own personal vibe factor, how it can find its place in that new thing. What draws you to this new thing, or what drew you to this new thing? What do you see of your own potential and insight in this new thing? You are not the other artist. Your responsibility as an artist is to bring something new and beautiful into the world that really, really needs you right now. You as an artist, you as you. This goes way beyond politics and religion and stuff. The world needs art. The world needs beauty. It's what we turn to when things get dark. So when things get dark, you can be a light, if even for a moment, for one eager and open mind seeking something new. Is that something you can do? There's your pep talk. Now go get to work. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that episode, but I think what it comes down to is finding things where your originality can speak through. Whether that's music or whether that's glass art, poetry, dance, cooking, nobody wants to re-experience the same thing over and over. You'll have your favorite songs, you'll have your favorite dishes and favorite clothes to wear. But if that's all you ever did, there'd come a time where you get pretty tired of that. And that's where this episode seeks to inspire you as the artist, as the creator, to do something new. Take your inspirations and create something new. We need you.